What's up? It's your boy Lucky Loco coming at you with the story of what's been going on in my life, and I see all the drama that's going on YouTube. And let's step out of that for a little bit. I appreciate you guys coming in. This is Native American channel. The people got the YouTube Yarda. We got the Battlegrounds, the Native American squad. So if you're Native American, I appreciate you coming through and showing love on this channel. If you're gente, hit them likes, hit them comment. Let me know what you think about these videos and what you would like to hear more about. So what I've been going through is for the past year, my life been turned upside down, and man, it's been a journey and it's been wild. It's been crazy. So I haven't been really been doing too much with the business and stuff like that because yeah, like I said, my world's been turned upside down, and the world shattered around me. The world I used to have of like the a family, basically a family that was taken apart from somebody that just wasn't feeling it no more. And that's fine. And so normalize getting at your friends for keeping kids away from a loving, caring father, because that's exactly what I've been. A stepdad to these children, been there from the get, changed diapers, just did the most, did everything a man's supposed to do when it comes to being with a woman with kids. So the relationship ends. Normalize getting at your friends. Just because a relationship ends between mother and father doesn't mean the relationship should end between children. So that's exactly what happened. Somewhere along the line, she got it in her mind that it was cool to take my kid from me, to take, just take my kid in the middle of the morning and disappear and just do the most and cause so much chaos and so much stuff just because you're unhappy, and then to go against me like I've done something wrong to you. You left the relationship, and that's fine. Relationship's over. But somewhere along the line, she thought it was cool to take my kid from me. Junior. She took the kid from me. She went, did the most. And there's a little thing called law, rights of a parent. And when you go flex some rights and just be like, look, I'm going to file for full custody. I got temporary custody. And, she had friends that work in the courthouse that got a hold of her and was like, hey, look, you better come put a restraining order on the dad. So she did that, put a restraining order, and ran with false allegations of abuse and all this other crazy stuff. And just it backfired because there's no evidence. We had cameras in the house with audio. It shows me coming home, going to my room. Because even though we're separated, we lived in the same house till one of us moved. And, even that started turning tricky. And like I said, just if you got a homegirl or a homeboy, they're like, hey, look, the relationship's over. Now I'm gonna keep the kid from the dad. Don't do that. That's horrible. Like, just be an adult and be like, hey, look, relationship's over. Let's work out a deal and see your kid. And the whole plan was just to keep my kid from me and hurt me, do me the most for no effing reason. So this is what I've been going through. I went in, filed for the custody, got stopped because of the restraining order. And it was stopped on the restraining order, and there was more to it than just separation. There was abuse. There was also the other type of abuse that you can't say here on YouTube and other social platforms that I exposed. And, the mother still goes against it, and she did. The court hearing was just completely horrible. Her whole plan was just to get Junior and keep him from me. And talking about, hey, I'd rather my son be in foster care than be with the dad. Even the judge was like, what? What did you just say? I'd rather have my son in foster care than to be with his dad, so I can prove to the state that I'm a good mother. And oh man, it was just bad. But anyways, all this drama and all this stuff has went through, and AC Lopez, much love and respect, and all these other people that reached out during these difficult and hard times, because if you're going through it, or going through the custody battle, not seeing your kids, man, and it sounds cliche, but times do get better and days do get better, and the pain eventually heals, and it's exactly what we're doing. And, I'm pretty sure the man that she's with now gets like 100 texts a day, phone calls. But Junior, nothing. No phone calls, no. Since I've had him, she hasn't dropped a penny for him to help out with anything. And that's fine because dad's got him. Dad works. Dad hustles. Dad goes out and makes sure things happen. So I haven't been on YouTube or anything for the longest time. And, she did the most. It's very toxic at work where I work at because she went and her and her dad just started so much fires at work, and I'm not gonna go put them out. I have nothing to hide. I have no allegations. It's not like I got arrested for domestic violence and got out and have to do all this stuff. And no, I've never been arrested for domestic violence or any of that type of stuff. There was no allegations of abuse. Well, we're together. There was no, hey, can you tell your brother to quit hitting me, or can you talk to him about this? There was none of that. And being here at work at the casino, she never came to work with black eyes, fat lips, and I'm pretty good with my hands, and I've never taken it out on women, children, or any of that type of stuff. So it's crazy to think that that's the thing you're gonna do. You're gonna go against me, and I went against like her friends, her dad, her family members. I've gotten death threats through Messenger. I've got people pulling up to our food truck and talking the most with Junior in the food truck. Like, do you understand like how dangerous the situation is? How much people dislike women beaters, and they will. You know what I mean? If it was true, yeah, I get it, but there's somewhere along the line, you have to know you have a friend that you're like, man, this motherfucker is lying. This person is tripping. But yeah, so I haven't been in the mood to cook. I haven't been in the mood, but now I'm healing. We both healed. And I tried to co-parent, and every single time he went, the 3 times he did to go see his mom, he'd come back and be like, I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat. And the very last time I went to go drop him off, she's like, we were both hungry. We're like, come on, let's go get some Dairy Queen. Let's go grab some meat. He's like, I'm not hungry, Dad. I'm not going to eat. And then I dropped him off and went to work. And then I called him. I was like, hey, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I was like, does your mom make fun of your weight that you've gained? Because he's gotten chubby. He's gotten bigger. He's 9 years old now. Junior's 9 years old. And he was like, yeah, Mom was making fun of me, saying that I got fat and that when I grow up I'm going to be fat and ugly like you. And to that was the last and final straw. There's no more trying to co-parent. There's no more. We're doing everything we can to protect him. And, his birthday was like a week ago. And I asked him, I was like, do you want to call your mom and, let her say happy birthday? He's like, no, I don't. He's like, I don't like the way she's acting. Kids are not stupid. I don't care what type of games you play. But kids are not stupid. And he was like, nah, I don't want to talk to her. And I was like, are you sure? I was like, because I don't badmouth her around him or any of that. I don't get in his head and play these games because he's a child. He's already going through much. If I'm feeling this way and I was depressed and sad, imagine what an 8-year-old child's going through who doesn't have the coping skills like we do, that like not real, thinking 10 steps ahead of us and trying to heal and process of everything that went down. So I've been there for him. I call him 3 times a day while I'm at work, at both breaks and lunch, and I call him. I play video games with him on Facebook Messenger. And there's so much that went on and so many people stepped in to fill that void of emptiness of an 9-year-old child now that the mother lacks to give to him. The compassion, the love, the reassurance. We all do everything for him. I've taken him to therapy. He still goes to therapy, and whatever he said in therapy, they were like, hey, we're going to pay for the restraining order against the mother and the brother. Like I say, I don't play these games. I don't say, hey, when she had him lying to CPS, to the cops, and just doing the most. And it backfired because even the CPS was like, hey, the math ain't adding up. And I see a lot of other people going through it too. And, I see when Gunner was going through it, and with those allegations, I was kind of like, I just don't approve of the way Gunner carries himself. But the last thing, I was like, nah, I don't think he's that type of person to do that to his daughter. Like maybe spankings or whatever, but that other stuff they were saying about him, I was like, nah, man. That's a horrible jacket to throw on somebody if you're not going to have the 100% proof, like how he tried to do American Cholo. And shout out to American Cholo and, all these other channels that I watch. Shout out to the Day Oneers. Shout out to all these people that, support. But my message today is, man, if you got a homegirl that's like, oh, he cheated on me, relationship's over, I'm going to keep that kid from him, step in and be like, nah, that's not right. Just let that man be a part of the kids. You may be this and that in a bad relationship. Same with the baby's mom. The relationship ended. I'm mature enough to be like, hey, man, let's, work something out. Just keep your son away from my son, the abuser, the one that did stuff to Junior. And she couldn't even honor that. She still brought him around our son. My son doesn't feel comfortable around him, doesn't feel safe around him. And it's his choice, his life, man. I could only honor what my son wants to do with this path that we're on now. And we're both healing. We're both moving on. I'm starting to date. I've been out and about, but I'm really starting to, like, man, now it's time to kick it. Now it's time to find a good woman and hang out. And, I've been out a few times and it's fine. I walked away from women that were, I wanted to jump in a relationship right away to fill that void, but that's not what I needed, man. I need to heal and get over that person that I did the most for, that I went above and beyond, took care of her kids, and did everything I could as a man. So, but if you're going through, man, just prayers to you. It sounds cliche. Time does get better. You do have rights. Go in court. Even if you got all this stuff, I got felonies and stuff, and I was still granted full custody. Protect that children. And there's another story I'm going to come up to with, because I see people that jump on my social media watching everything I do, and that's fine. You could chalk it up as parenting classes and see how you take care of a kid on your own when somebody goes and just disregards everything. So anyways, let me know what you think. Give me a comment if you need any help. Hit me up in the comments. Whoa. And I'll definitely help you out, man. I had a couple people ask me, hey, what do I do about these custody papers? I've been hit up like 5-6 times already, and I'd be more than willing to help anybody going through custody and want to protect children. It's your boy Lucky Loco, and I'm out.